where does General Hux fit in with all of this? I've mentioned before that I am perfectly alright with the newer characters in the Star Wars universe not being related to anybody from the past, mainly because the new characters are great on their own, plus the thought of every major character at the center of all the biggest events in this entire galaxy all being from the same circle of people is impractical. My gut does tell me that there will be a new character or two that does have a connection to previous characters that's yet to be revealed. And if there is a possible connection, then it kind of is what it is, and it's a little bit fun to speculate still. And just a little disclaimer, I'm not saying that I think this is true, but more so just kind of spitballing ideas and starting a little bit of dialogue and having fun with things. There's been a ton of speculation about Luke Skywalker having a child, and that has almost universally centered around Rey, but that entire speculation is dependent on both Luke being a horrible parent and kind of bad storytelling, neither of which sit very well with me. What about General Hux though? This is a decently major character that we've been introduced to, gotten to know a little bit, has a prominent role within the First Order, and is surviving till at least the next movie and possibly beyond. I've seen the theory thrown out there that he could possibly be the son of Luke Skywalker, and I gotta admit, when I first heard this all, I was pretty intrigued. On the surface, it looks like it could be a decent possibility. There's maybe a little bit of physical resemblance there, and the idea of having a vengeful son turn evil could be a major contributor into what drove Luke into hiding, along with having a nephew also turn to evil. It also would serve as somewhat of a parallel to the original trilogy with a father and a son, one good, one evil, only this time the roles would be reversed from Luke and Vader, where this time around the father is the one that's good. Again, it's pretty intriguing at first, but then you get a little bit below the surface and realize it's not possible. First off, Hux is 34 years old, and I'm pretty sure that Luke didn't have a 4-year-old to go home to after the Battle of Endor. Then you also consider that within the current canon universe, we've already been introduced to General Hux's actual father. But that doesn't rule out the possibility that General Hux could still be the stepson of Luke Skywalker, or more likely former stepson, and I think one of the keys to explaining that would lie in Luke's wife, or former wife, and that could be the character that is eventually played by Laura Dern. When you consider what we know so far about General Hux and his father, and their backgrounds in training soldiers for both the Empire and now the First Order, it could explain that if he had a mother that ended up wedding somebody like Luke Skywalker who helped destroy the Empire, Hux might be more resentful, and therefore trying to push back a little bit harder against everything, both rebellion and resistance, leading to his eventual speech before destroying the Hosnian system being so impassioned. With such a fiery hatred for what both his mother and stepfather stood for, it would explain why he's so passionate in this fight against them, and in Luke's case is probably just glad to have him gone at this point, explaining why he's okay with the idea of destroying BB-8 along with the rest of the map to Luke Skywalker, rather than Kylo Ren's obsession with finding Luke Skywalker. This also would introduce the possibility of General Hux and Kylo Ren knowing each other before Kylo Ren's fall to the dark side, basically with Hux serving as the bridge between Kylo Ren and Supreme Leader Snoke, enabling Snoke to manipulate Kylo Ren and further lure him to the dark side. Basically with the idea being that Hux helped bring Kylo Ren to the First Order under the allure of him possibly being one of the most powerful figures within a galactic superpower, whereas had he stayed with Luke's Jedi Academy, it's possibly undetermined how powerful he might have actually been, especially within the hierarchy of that entire organization, what with Luke being there, his mother being there, and a prominent member of the Resistance and the Galactic Senate, and Kylo Ren seems to crave power, so that's where those dots might all connect. Anyway, like I said earlier, this is mostly just spitballing ideas because up until now I hadn't put much thought at all into General Hux's character or what roles he might have possibly played leading up to the events that caused us to get to where we are now. If you have any ideas or any thoughts on what his character might be, where he may have come from, and where he might be going, please feel free to share it in the comments. I'm really interested to see what other people think about this. He's obviously not the actual blood-related son of Luke Skywalker, but that doesn't mean he still couldn't have had a prominent role within possibly tearing parts of that family apart. So let me know what you think about it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit it with the like button. I always appreciate that. And if you want more Star Wars videos or just videos in general, I'm going to keep making them, so subscribe if you want to see some of those. And as always, everybody, thanks so much for watching.